Yo, YouTube, what's good? It's your boy Eli SoFly. We're back with another video. Today we are reacting to the Brit. I'm done. I'm dyslexic. Um, Today we're reacting to the Boondocks brings up a great question. Now, what is that question, you may ask? I have no clue. We about to find out. Leave a like, subscribe, tap into the other channels, the animation channel, the gaming channel. Come tap into the Twitch, and let's get into it.
So, I was thinking the other day about what else? The Boondocks. And I wondered what was the most important lesson or theme that the show had to offer. There's obviously a large amount of different answers that you could come up with for that question. But the first thing that came to my mind was this line from Huey at the end of the Trial of Robert Kelly episode.
You do what you can to help black folks, and they make you wonder why you even bother. But they're our people, and we gotta love them regardless.
Yup.
They're our people, and we have to love them regardless.
That's what you gotta
it's
think
an almost.
about. That's what you gotta think about. Cause me, I'm not gonna go out of my way to say I'm an activist. I don't know. I am pro-black though. I am pro-black. You know what I'm saying? I want to see my people do well. I want to see my people, you know what I'm saying, elevate beyond what they believe they are currently. You know, and you know, oftentimes you kind of start to think, you like, yo, why am I doing this? Cause y'all not gonna listen. Y'all at the end of the day, y'all gonna nod your head, yeah, and then y'all gonna go back to doing exactly what y'all was doing before. But at the end of the day, it's you know what I'm saying? These are people, and you gotta love them regardless. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And Boondocks, here's the thing, cause us as a community, the majority of I have yet to come across somebody of color that does not like the Boondocks. So I'm gonna say 99.9.99999% of us like Boondocks, right? And often we find Boondocks hilarious, right? Because it's satire. But when you watch Boondocks, do you really understand what Boondocks is telling you though? Or are you just watching it to laugh? Like, do you really know what Boondocks is saying though? Cause Boondocks really, when I rewatched Boondocks literally this year. I rewatched the whole series of Boondocks this year. And now that I've come across some knowledge, I caught a bunch of stuff that I didn't recognize when I was just watching Boondocks for the sake of watching Boondocks. Like back when he was trying to teach us about like all the different holidays, them being pagan and like, you know what I'm saying, worshiping white Jesus and all of that. And freaking the origins of Christmas being gay and all of that. I was like, we was looking like as a kid, whatever, growing up, I was watching that and I was like, that's funny. But now that I know, I'm like, they was really trying to put us on game this whole time. You know what I'm saying? They need to bring back Boondocks. See, I don't know, bro. I don't know. Would I like to see Boondocks come back? I definitely would, but based off of the fact that the original creator does not own his own show anymore, I don't think it needs to come back because Boondocks is going to turn into something completely different than what it is. The origin of Christmas being gay is crazy. It is, Blooper. Do your research. It is. The origins of Christmas originate way back in them Greek days. They was out there having gay happy meetings. Y'all ever heard that Christmas song gay with that mention gay happy meetings? For those of y'all that say gay mean happy, why would you say get happy twice? You know what I'm saying? Think about it. Aaron Magruder is done with Boondocks. Yeah. It was perfect for what it was. It is. I'll say this. Boondocks is a timeless classic that you can literally watch at any point in time and it's still going to be relevant. So for that reason, I don't think it needs to come back. Just rewatch it. Cause it's not like our people have changed. Our people still doing the exact same thing Boondocks was talking about when it first came out. So it's like it's not gonna have. That's the thing. It's not gonna have much new to even talk about, cause we still doing the same thing. So just go rewatch it.
Tragically beautiful sentiment that at its core is supposed to be an affirmation of racial brotherhood through good times and bad. But is it true?
The Martin Luther King episode was
Or
hilarious.
does it
I
have
ain't
to
gonna
be
lie.
true? Should you feel obligated to support your people no matter what? The
I
obvious
watched a
example
small
to
bit
relate
of
this quote to
Boondocks
is the
and that
racial-
jump funny. Blooper, ain't you white? Ain't you white, Blooper? You know what I'm saying? What do you find funny about it? What do you find funny about it? I'm playing, bro. I'm playing, bro. I'm playing, bro. I'm playing, bro.
One specifically regarding the black community in America. But I think the question can go a lot deeper than just race. It can be your gender, your generation, your sexuality, your religion, your nationality, your family, which college or high school you went to, which political party you support. Our people can be as wide-ranging or as ridiculously specific as you want it to be. But let's start with the example of the black community first, because that's the our people that Huey was directly speaking about. And hey,
Boondocks is
look
literally
at that.
a mirror.
I'm a black people
Like,
too.
It's
The
a
trial
mirror
of Robert Kelly is one
to
of the
the black
best and most
community, bro.
memorable episodes of the Boondocks for many reasons. But one of the biggest, in my opinion, is that it's one of the greatest examples of a piece of art calling out a community of people for their flaws and deep-seated issues without coming across as being against them. For proof, the very first line of the episode is,
Here's something black people have known for a couple of 100 years. Niggas are crazy.
and from there, the episode proceeds to show us
the fact
We're
that the
EF
Robert
Ultimate Break. The best way
the
to see
fact-
the world for anyone.
is that the
18
Robert Kelly
to
episode?
Well, a
Was
bunch
that the
of crazy
very
niggas
first
doing crazy
episode of the
niggas.
show?
And obviously the Boondocks is a satirical cartoon that embellishes real-world issues for comedic effect. So not everything that is depicted in this episode, or in any other episode for that matter, is 100% accurate to reality. But as someone who was alive and somewhat conscious of current events back in the early to mid-2000s, I can say with absolute conviction that a lot of the shit in this episode was not too far off from how some people were really acting during the R. Kelly trial. The
Bro,
first
this
one.
is really how they act.
Well, actually, technically the second one if you count that whole, Aaliyah thing, but never mind. The point is that the Boondocks is still pretty realistic and faithful to the subject matter that it pulls from. From Bobby Brown and booty butt cheeks to Uncle Ruckus wanting to hang innocent black men to fat R.
Yep,
Kelly
in
fan lady
GTA.
beating up black activists to a hung jury mad at Tom's white wife.
Unlike District Attorney Dubois, who's married to a white woman.
To an entire courtroom of black people breaking out into song and dance after freeing a documented pervert. It's all set up to show the depraved and ignorant state of modern black culture. But to all the racists out there, slow down, put down the tiki torch and thin blue line bandanas. This is not meant to be a vindication of your dumbass beliefs that black people are inferior. Are black people in need of assistance in certain respects? Absolutely. But inferior or deserving of discrimination? No. The impetus or the catalyst for many of the issues that black Americans face today and have faced for the last century and a half since the end of slavery were not necessarily self-inflicted. I don't want to be reductionist, but similar to Huey's line that ends this episode,
One thing for sure, though. Can't blame this one on the white man. What am I saying? Of course
Yes,
I
you can.
when in doubt of who to blame for the deep-seated cultural issues within minority groups in America, blaming white people is usually a pretty acceptable answer. And just to be clear, I'm not blaming the white people of today, especially not the ones who watch my videos. You guys are cool. I'm talking about the whites of yesteryear, the powdered wig whites of the 17 and 1800s, and the Jim Crow whites of the 20th century. They're just the trust fund racist whites who have inherited their ancestors' racist beliefs and traditions. They're no longer the cause of mass black suffering, or at least not to the same extent that their ancestors were. Though many issues that black Americans face today are the product of generational systemic racism started long ago, that complaint is starting to become a little old and tired. Victims we may be, you can only play the victim card for so long before people outside of your struggle start to lose sympathy for your cause. Yes,
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the thing too. Like, It's often in our culture that we often want handouts. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm victim of this too. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time we don't want to work for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time you know what I'm saying, we just want it to come easy. We want it to come when we want it, how we want it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like we play the victim card for so long. At some point, when we gonna stop playing victim? At some point, we're gonna be like, all right, it's enough playing victim. Let's establish our own stuff. You know what I'm saying? Let's establish our own stuff. Let's get this popping. Let's stop. You know what I'm saying? Let's stop looking for the government to give us reparations and, you know what I'm saying, actually work on building wealth within our community. You know what I'm saying? Without looking for a handout from the government. Because the government don't care. They never did. They never will. You know what I'm saying? Wait, how did you know I was white? I just thought of that. Bro can see me through the screen. Well, Blooper, you know, when you join the Discord, all one has to do is look at your profile picture, buddy. It's kind of like gaydar. We have a white dar. What you mean by that, Queen J? What you mean?
Racism is horrible, but is racism what causes the black community to idolize murderers, sexual deviants, and drug dealers? Is the white man to blame for black men and women who choose not to raise their children or neglect their family?
Why you tell them? You see, that wasn't me. Nah, we caught you, buddy. We caught you. But yeah, he's spitting right here. He's spitting right here. Freaking. But in a way, it is racism. In a way, it is racism because here's the thing. A lot of people don't believe there's a difference between racism and prejudice. And there is. Racism comes from having the power to racism comes from having the power to physically, emotionally, or whatever oppress a race because of, you know what I'm saying, their race, right? Prejudice is basically just believing in stereotypes that you've heard and or seen from another race. So it's a difference. So technically, the idol worship and all of that does come from racism because these are the idols that they put in front of us to idolize. Think about it. These the rappers that get signed to the labels. These the songwriters that get signed to the labels. These the movie stars that they put in movies. You know what I'm saying? So it is racism because this is who they put in front of us to idolize. So yeah, bro, it kind of is racism. That's part of the reason why we idolize killers and you know what I'm saying, degenerate and all of that.
Families. Should the black community as a whole be held accountable for the collective inability to control the worst of us? It's that last question that I really find most interesting. What is the role of a black person when it comes to policing our black brothers and sisters? I can speak from personal experience of being a black man surrounded by a group of non-black people and all of us witnessing some black history. And it's always an awkward situation of trying to explain or defend the insane or indefensible actions of other black people. That constant pressure of having to defend people that you don't even really know but are always connected to through racial ties can breed resentment for your very own people. And I think that's where a lot of self-hating black ideologies stem from. It's some sort of combination or mix of secondhand embarrassment and feelings of superiority for being better than those other black people. Also a desire to be seen as one of the good ones by their non-white peers. There are a lot of different names for these types of people, and though I can understand how they became the way they are,
please don't get me
I
banned
prefer
on
to
Twitch.
call them
bitch ass niggas.
Okay, we can accept that one. We can accept that one.
You go rogue. You don't just settle for a little flavor. You want flavors that pack.
We can accept that one, chat. Out of all the names he could have called him, we can accept that one. We can accept that one.
Pack a punch.
But on the other end of the spectrum, there are the people who defend black people no matter what, even if the actions of the black people in question are absolutely reprehensible. Like the people who defended O.J. Simpson back in the 90s, or the people who defended R. Kelly back in the early 2000s.
R.
where
Kelly
people
definitely
defended
did that,
Bill
by the
Cosby
way.
just a few years ago,
Bill Cosby
and
definitely
many
did
other
that, by
similar
the way.
examples from celebrities all the way to common civilians. And while I respect their desire to protect black people and keep the image of black idols as pure as possible, I would call these people
stubborn dumbasses.
But all of this still begs the question, should we feel obligated to give unconditional love and support to people solely based on race? To me,
I don't think so. While I don't. Okay, hold on. No, actually, no. I'm gonna say no. And here's why I'm gonna say no. When it comes to celebrities and whatnot, absolutely not. No. Because I believe that falls under idol worship. Believing that they are higher than, and you know what I'm saying, basically you worshiping them. So you turn a blind eye to their buffoonery and malpractices. But when it comes to people who are in your direct reach, right? You know what I'm saying? Say friends, family, co-workers, whatever. You know, people that you can actually come in contact with on the daily, or even if they just a stranger that you come across on the street or whatever. I do believe it is partly our job to hold them accountable. You know what I'm saying? We are our brother's keeper. That's the thing. We are our brother's keeper. We're supposed to look after each other. But the thing is, most of the time we just I'm minding my business. That ain't got nothing to do with me. We see one of each other acting out on the street. Dang, that's crazy, bro. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm minding my business. Which oftentimes that might be coming from a place of fear from our own people. You know what I'm saying? You might fear your own race. Cause you might be like, I don't know what they got on them. They crashing out. I don't know if they, they might have that little on them. They might have a little thing on them or something. So I'm gonna just mind my business. But yeah, bro, it is kind of our job to look after each other though. But oftentimes we don't, just because we don't want to face repercussions for doing that, or we don't want to be associated with it.
The answer is no. At least to the idea that everyone should be expected to love their people. If you do, more power to you. But man, does that sound like an exhausting life. I don't use the word love lightly either. To me, your love is something that should be reserved for the people who have earned it. I don't love all black people the same way I don't love all American people or even all the members of my family. You know what you did, Uncle Jack. But I do want the best for them, and I hope they're happy, successful, and healthy. I like to see good black people thrive and succeed. It inspires me and pushes me to want to succeed just like them. But I feel no obligation to love someone just because they're the same race as me. And I don't think that makes me a sellout or an Uncle Tom or whatever negative term you might want to use. I'm just a man who wants to live free of the labels that other people might place on me. And I don't see anything wrong with that. Huey says that he's often vexed at the actions of his own people. And I think many people born into dysfunctional families or societal groups can resonate with that line. But at the end of the day, it's up to you on how you choose to process those feelings. The topic for this video was a little bit more broad than the types of videos I usually make, but I think the main thing I wanted to get across is that a lot of times in life, you're going to be expected to protect, speak up for, or help people based on connections that you might have with them. This could be family ties, racial ties, or a plethora of any other kind of connections. I think a lot of people just blindly go along with this against their better judgment because they believe in what other people tell them, that they have some sort of duty or responsibility to look out for someone else just based on these ties. But for anyone who's in that situation, I hope you realize that who you love and who gets your attention, love, and support is your decision. And if there is someone or some group in your life that you protect or bend over backwards to help for no real benefit to yourself, then all I ask is that you consider, why do you do so much for them when they give you nothing in return? And maybe, just maybe, it might be best to cut ties with that person or group so that you can flourish and enjoy your own life. It's just like a man much wiser than me once said.
Just because a motherfucker come in and read all them black history books, Malcolm X, all this other dumb shit, don't make me your brother's keeper, motherfucker. That's right. That's the
See,
Regardless of what
I
someone
disagree.
who might look like you does, nobody should allow the actions of others to reflect poorly back on them. You're your own person. We're all our own people. And I think we could all benefit from ending this idea that people from certain groups are one big hive mind who move and act accordingly together. And even more especially when it comes to such broad groupings as race and ethnicity. Because I can guarantee you, a black person in Montana is not the same as a black person from New York, who is also not the same as a black person from Texas, who is also not the same as a black person from Canada, who is also not the same as a black person from California. We're all different, we're all our own people, and we should start acting like it. You don't have to love your people. You just have to respect them and try to do your best to not hurt them. To me, that's the best that we could reasonably ask for.
See, this is a fire video, by the way. But I disagree. I believe that you are supposed to love your people, despite the hurt and turmoil and pain and suffering that they may cause you. You're still supposed to love them at the end of the day because it's the right thing to do. Now, does it get stressful? Does it get dark in all of that sometimes? Absolutely. It definitely does. It definitely does. I'll be lying if I said it didn't. But at the end of the day, I still feel like you are supposed to love your people, bro. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, that we wouldn't get nowhere without love. That might be part of the reason why we kind of nowhere now, because there ain't no love. We all kind of like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? We all like got this we kind of got this whole like independent type of vibe where it's like, oh yeah, I'm gotta do it by myself. I can do bad all by myself. This, that. Instead of us all coming together as a unit and loving each other and boom, building up. You know what I'm saying? That's like, you know what I'm saying? That's the way I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it like, why not love each other? Why not love your people? I get it can be stressful. You know what I'm saying? I get it can be stressful having to, oh yeah, man, dang, bro. They over there wilding. I don't really feel like going out the way to tell them to stop. I'm going to just let somebody else worry about it. Whole time, we got people over there from outside the community looking at them crazy like, dang, that's exactly why I don't like them right there. That's exactly why I don't like them right there. It's like, you know. But yeah, man, that was my reaction to Chill Review. The Boondocks brings up a great question. Leave a like, subscribe, join the conversation down below. Let me know your thoughts on the topic, man. I would love to converse with y'all. And yeah, man, I'm gonna holler at y'all in the next video, man. See.